Yo, what's cracking, y'all? Man, I was looking at my live time, and did it say 7:45 or like 1:45? Like mine seems like it said 1:45, um, like a.m. So I'm trying to check and see if everybody's was a little bit different. Let me change the lighting. The wrong one. Let me press them both together. Mm, Dude, ah, okay, we'll rock with that. What's cracking, everybody, man? Welcome to Monday. You know, thank you for sharing your Monday with Fishy Biz, man. The Biz. I'm out here, you know, trying to get it cracking. Excuse me. What's up, Chewy Pestotics? What's cracking, you guys? Yeah, man. Look, every time I try to look at it, I have blue on my fry tank, and I guess I'm gonna rock with a little green. You can still kind of see it in there. Most of them are over there. So look, thanks for coming through, you all. I really appreciate it. I saw that some more people on live uh, this Monday evening that normally aren't. So everything's good to go, man. I wanted to make sure I did a dope title, man. Kevin C, yo, what's cracking? Thanks for coming through. Um, so the title that I have actually is like Fisher jerks, man. Like, as a fact. Um, and I want to talk to you all about some of the jerkiest fish that you've had. First, though, I want to. It just seems a little too dark. That's a little too light. Maybe I just do thunderstorm. It's gonna give everybody conditions. Blue. We just lighten it up. Okay, I'm done. I can't. I'm not about to mess with this no more. All right. First, I want to give out my condolences to Designs MLT on YouTube. It's Monica Lynn. Um, she just recently lost her uncle, so I wanted to send out my condolences to her. And she's also dealing with, I think her mother has to have surgery also. So my condolences out to you, Monica, and praying for your family and you and your family. So that's first. Down the wormhole. Thanks for coming through, G. Really appreciate it. So how are your programs going for school? Did when I send help you? Yes. So Chewy, definitely leafing through all of that stuff. and kids are still interested. I actually I'm going to start having my after school meetings later on this week. I have a couple of summative assessments to do, including a couple of meetings that I've been attending. Plus, I had the chance to interview for a principal position this summer. So I've really been trying to get myself together with that first, so that I can be able to do some other things later. So, with that being said, I'm gonna have video footage of some of that stuff, and you'll be able to see it all. So, and I appreciate it, Chewy, especially with the native waters and the native plants and stuff like that. I've been talking about a biotope where you just use all the natural everything and just kind of like put it in the tank. The natural fish that you get from the natural waters and the natural rocks and natural, all of that stuff. And even do a more deep dive with some of this stuff here in the St. Louis or Missouri area. Honda Civic, thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, Honda Civic, that was for Designs by MLT on Instagram. On YouTube, she is Monica Lynn. So those prayers are going out to her family. Munoz, thanks for coming through, G. Really appreciate you, man. Always stopping in. I appreciate it. Get the state involved, says Chewy. That's, yeah. You know, it's before I kind of like this thing kind of like went this way. I'm just thinking like, okay, so I'm gonna get on YouTube. I'm gonna showcase this one tank that I have, and I'm gonna just kind of like be myself and see what happens. And from that, and 8 tanks later, classroom tanks, students getting involved, it's just kind of like, man, it just kind of went there. And so when we start talking about programs and we start talking about getting these students involved and we start talking about, all this different stuff, I actually have a science fair I have to put together. There hasn't been one in the school in a while, and it's really going to be big for these kids to kind of showcase the things that they've been doing. And so I'm actually heading that up and having my students kind of like pick some nice science projects so I can get materials and stuff like that. So it's been a whole little whirlwind, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I've been trying to wrap my head around it a lot. I'm actually back to taking naps in the daytime. Like I came home from work and just was like, man, I am tired. So trying to get everything together, man. So I appreciate you for staying in touch with me, Chewy. I definitely will be more in touch with you as the ball continues to get rolling. And yeah, we got it going. We got it going on. Again, I appreciate you guys for coming out. What else is cracking? That's about it, man. Today went pretty good as far as the school day. How's everybody Monday went? Everybody that went to work, if you didn't go to work, what you do for your Monday weekend went really good. So I got more information as to getting them interested in studying it in college. Sweet. And that'll be the crossover, because I really kind of want to get my 14 and 15-year-olds kind of like really kind of into it, because by now they've either had a fish and it died when they were younger, or they kind of really want to set up something now, which would be great because I can actually get their younger siblings who are in the 8th grade or the 7th grade or 6th grade, and start doing the correct ways to keep a fish, whether they get a goldfish or a beta or something like that. Usually that's like your first fish, which dawns the question, what was your first fish and how old were you? How about we do that? We got a few people on. Chewy Joe, if you're still on, Honda, down the wormhole. Hi, Warrior Planet. What's cracking, Steve? What's up with it? What was your first fish and how old were you? What was your first fish and how old were you? Let's put that out there real quick. Aquarium science program. That's dope. I want to look more into that too. I want to actually see what that syllabus and curriculum looks like. That seems pretty cool. Yeah. So, what was your first fish, and how old were you? Old were you? Larry D, thanks for coming through, man. Larry D's Tanks and More. I appreciate you. Larry D, just quick question. Are you off to Aquashella? Are you in Chicago again? Are you gonna try Dallas or are you good? Joe Munoz, my first fish was a ruby red cichlid many moons ago. Oh, wow, Joe. So you were able to you had a ruby red cichlid back in the day. How old were you? Were you a tween, which is in between like 12, 13? Or were you young or were you a little older? I was 7 or 8, too many drugs ago. But it was a Gambusia, a Finis, ditch guppy. Okay. All right. I should have read the AKA first. 7 or 8 and had ditch guppies. All right, Warrior Planet. How did that go? Did they die quick or were you able to take care of them? Were they pretty rustic? Like, did they last quite a bit? Going to try Chicago again, says Larry D. Sounds good. All right. Sounds good. Joe Munoz, I've been in the hobby over 20 years. I started with reptiles. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Okay. So far, Warrior Planet had ditch guppies. Joe Munoz had a ruby red cichlid. What everybody else have? What was your first fish and how old were you? So that we can kind of like gauge. I want to gauge when people start getting their first fish. I think I was 8 and I first got my first goldfish, and really didn't realize how dirty it was and what all it needed. Kind of one of those situations where you get those carnival fish, or you knock down all the balloons and you get a fish, and you kind of feel like this is where it's at, this is where it goes, and lo and behold, like, geez, you need a little bit more than what you got rocking. Come on, you guys, man, come on. So I gotta move. See you. My clown loaches are getting huge. I'm gonna have to end up. I don't know. Well, they're big. I got like 10 of them in there. I'm back. Phone went dead. Honda Civic. We're talking about your fish, your first fish, and what age did you get that fish? So we can kind of gauge. I want to kind of gauge where I want to take this program to. Start it to where kids kind of generally get their first fish, where they're able to kind of, take care of them before it all goes to crap. They were tougher than woodpecker lips. I couldn't kill them. That's dope. Larry D had Neon Tetras was already 36 after a year. Gave it up until I hit my 50s. Your first fish was Neon Tetra. 36? You were 36 years old, Larry? Like, is that your first fish? Chewy said he was in 2nd grade and got his first fish tank. Guppies were his first fish. And I kept and my last. Oh, first fish you kept and last. Okay. Marty King, thanks for coming through. First fish, angels, dwarf, grommy, and zebras, age 11. Whoa. How did that end up? Were you able to keep them alive? Did you know about, filtering the water at what were we, 11? You know, how did that work out? Honda Civic 12 or so. Them sharks you got from Walmart. Okay, Walmart sharks. They probably were either rainbows, maybe at Walmart, or maybe Balas, Baja sharks. Did they sell those at Walmart? I'm thinking I may have seen them. I don't remember seeing any iridescent sharks. I'm thinking it had to be either be Baja or um, rainbows. I've been doing pets 20 plus years on and off until 6 years ago when I decided to stick with the pet industry, going on 7 years steady in the pet industry now. All right. Very good, Pestonics. What was your first fish and how old? Grandma got it for him. Says Honda Civic. Okay. But it was a mammal that got me interested in aquariums. Ooh, what mammal? Can't even remember what my first fish was. I think a goldfish. Okay. Yep. First ever had reptiles for a long time. Okay, Larry D. All right. You're a reptile guy like Munoz. I'm about to lurk here for a while. Got to make some moves. Be back in a minute. All right. That's what's up. Warrior Planet Tanks. Appreciate it, Steve. They were some kind of little catfish. So maybe a Cory cat, maybe. Yeah, Cory cat, maybe little catfish, something like that. Synodontists are get pretty big. An orca at the Vancouver Aquarium named Moby Bell. An orca, a killer whale. Is that like? Wait a minute, what did I miss? Oh, it was the orca. Okay, that got you interested in aquariums. That's sweet. I am actually every year I always show the movie Blackfish. Usually is on Netflix. I gotta actually check and see if it's still on there. About the SeaWorld trainers that went along with the terrible conditions of the killer whales and how they were taking out trainers left and right, and they had to cover it up and say all these different things. And it really is like you look at it and like, man, they take these baby killer whales from their mothers and their pods, and they expect these killer whales to just kind of like do what they say, put them in the SeaWorld and grow them up from there, and fail to realize that these killer whales actually have enormous brains, more so than any other um, probably aquatic um, um, species, and they actually kind of remember. So you ripping these kids from their mothers, and these mothers are yelling and crying for their calves, and they're crying, and you're netting them and taking them away, and you're all the way in, you're all in these different waters. So they're getting some from the Atlantic, and then getting some from um, all these other different types of bodies of water, and they're putting them together in these small tanks and expect them to do tricks and love each other, and it don't work like that. They had whales fighting and beating each other up. They had whales, smacking trainers with their fins and just crushing them in these shows, and they had to cover it up and say that it wasn't the whale's fault. It was like trainer error. They said some trainers drowned, but these trainers were like Olympic swimmers, and like, come on, like really, like y'all tripping with that. So it's called Blackfish. If you haven't seen it, I usually show it to my students every year, especially for like biology class and stuff like that, and have them do like a little a little chunk-in report on it, see what they learned, and interesting stuff like that. So when you go to like SeaWorld and you see these different things and these tricks happening and stuff like that, you don't never hear what happens behind the scenes where these animals are kept and how they're kept and if they're being doing, good. And yeah, so it's a good vid to kind of look at. Kind of gets your blood boiling a little bit, especially for animal lovers. A woman with a room off of her kitchen and sold fish from there. She taught me a lot. All of the fish lived. That was 61 years ago, and I still have tanks. And that's Marty King. And that is the thing that I'm talking about. If these kids, maybe their parents don't know, maybe they keep saying, Mom, I want to fish, Mom, I want to fish, Mom, I want to fish. They go to Petco, PetSmart. They, get everything that they need for the fish, but, they get the preliminary how to take care of it from maybe the PetSmart worker. They get the fish and they kind of put it in the tank, and maybe they overfeed it and it dies, or maybe they don't change the filter and it dies, or maybe they don't know that it needs a heater and it dies. And all of these different things that actually at a young age, you kind of like, if you had known and you kept your fish alive, then possibly you'll stick with the hobby. So, fish dies, mom flushes it, you're sad. You may want another one. Mom says no, you got to wait till you get older, and you get older and you go back through the same stuff. So you, still have to try to figure it out, but now maybe you're a little bit more knowledgeable. Of course, you can use the internet. You can go back to your, try to find some LFSs, and now you get a little bit better. But had you known at a young age, for example, Marty King says that a woman taught him a lot about how to keep the fish, and all his fish were alive. 61 years later, he's still keeping fish. And that's the type of longevity we want in this hobby. That's what we want. So if I can do my part and go to some of these elementary schools and let them kind of like, see what this is about, and possibly, once they get a fish, or if they have a fish, they're able to take care of it. Seems like it'd be pretty cool. Back in 1064, the first ever orca in captivity, and they cannot be reintroduced to the wild due to the fact of the fillings they use for dental decay in captivity too. It's messed up. Oops, I had 2 more years to the 61. Orca, very intelligent animals, probably smarter than most humans. um, um, Squidward tentacles. Hey, you talking about caring for fish? Respect from Bikini Bottom. Squidward tentacles. Right on. I appreciate it. Whoa, mic check, mic check. Hey, Mr. 3000's in the place, y'all. It's also due to the fact that the type of pies they were getting the whales from Okers off the west coast are salmon eaters. The other are pure hunters. Fisher jerks, let me guess. African Cichlids 23. Hey, welcome, Melon. Welcome. Appreciate you, 23. Right now we're talking about your first fish and how old were you? Because I was just talking about starting a program with the high school that I want to see how young people were getting these fish. I was 8 when I first had mine. We had some people that were 11. We had some people that were 36. So just want to see so that we can kind of get these kids to kind of know a little bit before they get their first fish. And that way, if they keep their fish alive and start loving fish, that they can grow with the hobby, man, and get some of that longevity. That's where we're at right now. Just meow, says Fish Tropic. Let's see, Brandon Weaver. Well, fishy biz. I can't really remember my first fish, but it was a cool fish. I wish I still had it. My age was 14 or 13. So that's high school age. This is the age that I'm at right now with my students. FYM fish are jerks. Don't make me swing my tentacles at you. Okay. Let's see. Are those sharks still swimming in San Jose? At Cichlids 23. All right. Just holding I just threw a holding female in Boona in a 5.5, and she ain't happy. Says like, hey, look, them in Boonas, we can go ahead and get it in right now, starting with them. Sickly, crazy, hectic, insane, chulas, looking interesting deaths, cichlids. Mr. 3000 was 9. It was goldfish from the carnival. That's where I got my goldfish from. It was a carnival. I just told them that. My junior and senior high school had a fish club that was due to our science teachers and our principal. It is how I got away with working in a wholesaler and explaining the difference between water. Sweet. Marty King, you are correct. If the kids are taught the proper way to care for fish, their fish will live out their lives and not die an early death, which helps the kids out too. Because now, you get a fish that dies, they just come in the room and they're like, oh my God, and had they known, they could have, if you knew better, you do better. You feel me? I was 6'7". I think I remember wanting a bunch of fish and my mom kept saying, no, get this pearl gourami. They are friendly. That one got murked. And I think I got an opal gourami in the next weekend. But throughout my childhood, a lot of poor fish souls were lost, except for the goldfish. They lasted. It's a fact. Some of these fish are resilient. And the shock it would do to the rainforest fish, introducing them to Calgary Hard Rift Rally water. Like Jesus did Dad say he misplaced his Corona. Fish tropic is crazy, man. Black Jesus. Look. Murked. I gave my daughter 4 bumblebee platies and gave her the full rundown of how to properly care for them. Bought her stress code, etc., DOA in 2 weeks. Grr. And then there's, some people that you can't tell how to do it, and it just might not happen. But I think that the more information you get out there, the better it'll be. Especially when the younger they are. If you teach them the right way from the beginning, then they don't know the wrong way. If they don't know anyway, you feel me? So, I think that'll be cool. So I think I'm at a great age right now with these kids at 13 and 14 for the ones that get into it as a freshman. My sophomores are 16. Those are the ones that were on the student video. They're really excited to actually do another video. My Planet tank now has, I don't know if they are platy babies or guppy babies, but I have babies. And some of them are getting eaten. I have enough stuff in there for them to hide, but it looks like they just kind of like are out there, like whatever. So I am going to let the students get to work. I don't think I've had a couple of students kind of check those tanks and ask if they were pregnant because of the big bellies it was big bellies on a guppy and on the platy. So now we have babies. I still have big bellies, and I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm gonna have to wait until they get a little bit bigger. But I've got footage. I'm letting them check it out. They are going to get some footage, and I want them to start asking the questions on camera so you guys can see where their minds are. And I'm gonna put a YouTube video out of students and fish babies, or students and fish fry, or something like that. I'll come up with some cool little something. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting, especially when I tell them to go check out the tank today and they see those little guys in there. Especially if they have some more, because with a guppy and a platy being both preggers, so we'll see how it goes. Cardinal tetras coming out of South America. Back then, the pH would be like 5.6. Imagine a shot going into a 8.2 pH. And all the dissolved solids, says Chewy. They can get into water chemistry work. I got you, Fish Tropic. Yes, not a chemistry teacher, biology teacher. I actually hate chemistry. God. I know quite a few like chemistry tricks to make things kind of like foam up and maybe pop and blow up, but um, yeah, we definitely have a water pH set that they can definitely go through too. Alien World Aquatics was cracking. Thanks for coming through, y'all. Appreciate it. I think what kids and adults who forget is that fish are not interactive pets. People kill fish from doing too much. I mean, if you want an interactive pet, get a dog. I feel you. So wait a minute. So Steve, you're against the people who kind of like grab those, um, play with their flower horns, or saying that they can pet their flower horns or take them out of the water and kind of showcase stuff like that. I mean, I never really had kind of grabbed fish before because I heard that, it takes off that slime and that stuff that they need, and plus your hands are kind of dirty and stuff like that. I've never really wanted to play with fish, but I see it happening on the time on YouTube and stuff like that. So is that what you're getting at? And Larry D agrees that fish aren't really an interactive pet. And he said, yeah, he's a teacher and wants to be a principal. And that would probably be principal. But yeah. Make some Muppets. Water chemistry is a big thing for keeping fish and breeding fish, says Chewy. Absolutely. It's all you need basics. Not too much. Another eel and a small royal pleco the other day, says Alien World Aquatics. I've been on Instagram. Someone's been posting their green phantom pleco. It makes me want to just kind of like post mine. Like my guy's been chilling, eating and getting a little size on him. But he's in my small. He's in my small. Not my small. He's in my 40-gallon on the bottom. What I mean is that folks do too much, like overfeed, doing too much to the water, putting all kinds of chemicals, just doing too much in general, says Steve for Warrior Planet Tanks. Gotcha. You pick up a fish and you end up with slime on your hands. Slime on your hands means there's less slime on the fish, and that's what I was getting at. You're taking off that mandatory good slime that those fish need, which is affecting their immune system and that infectious preventative slime that they have on that coats them. So if you make a Muppet, just no more Miss Piggies, please. Oh man, where's Kermit? All right, so let's now get into the topic. Everybody has told me the ages that they first had their first fish and if those fish lived or died. If you had been given a little bit more information on how to keep said fish, would they be alive, and would that kind of have switched your thinking of fish keeping? So let's get into fish are jerks. And it don't have to just be African cichlids because we know that they're jerks. So my question to you all is this now. This is the new question. What was your biggest, jerkiest fish? Like straight up bully in the tank. He's attacking things. What was your biggest bully fish? And not bully fish. What was your biggest jerk fish? And what did he do? Like, how far did he go? Like, were you able to stop this kid? Like, what was he doing? Okay, talk to me. Biggest bully fish, biggest jerk fish. What did he do? All right. Down the world, I was 6, and Oscar 5 years. Down, this is your first fish and how old you were? You had an Oscar when you was 6 years old and you had them for 5 years. It's actually pretty good. Roxana Red Devil, is this your first fish or your jerk fish? Fish Tropic, Jack Dempsey. I'm looking at these names and I'm looking at jerk fish right now. This is what it seems. Mollies are jerks. They kill their babies. Yeah, Larry D, and so do platies and guppies, obviously, because I swear I saw like one fry hanging out of the mouth of this guppy, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what they were talking about. Crazy as Mbuna. He murked about 15 fish. Hey, 23, my Mbuna tank has significantly become less fish. Every time I walk in there, I'm like, what in the world? I think I got a Kenji in there that's just, he's murking everything in there. Like, oh, man, I'm thinking about starting over. I got to get rid of those big ones and maybe just filling up with some small ones so I can look at it. Fish Tropic says a Midas. What'd he do? Fish Tropic, what'd he do? Melochromus and Mel Aratus need to have their own species tank. LOL. Roxana said that is that you had the Red Devil, right? Let's see. Roxana had the Red Devil. The Red Devil was destroying my hardscape and murdering all my other fish, jerk fish. Roxana, Red Devil story coming up for you, man. On my end. Actually, me and 3000, he can attest to this. He just told me this story today. We have a partner of ours went and bought and was able to get these fish on the low. So he ended up having like 7 Oscars, and I believe it's a 60-gallon and baby Oscars, and I think he just purchased maybe some blood parrots or something like that, but he ended up getting a Red Devil. And within a couple of days, the Red Devil had popped off all of those Oscars. So now he's got to get rid of the Red Devil. And I'm thinking about taking this Red Devil off his hands because I do have a 40-gallon that doesn't have anything in it. So if I do get a Red Devil, Roxana, what did you do with your jerk fish? And if I do get a Red Devil for the rest of you all, what can I have in there with it that will be able to stand up against it? And I probably shouldn't put him in there by himself for a long time because he's just going to get used to all that space and just become a big time jerk if anything else gets in there. A lot of questions, you guys. Still to today, I have been but a Midas fish more than once. Firemouth Sickly, named Wreck-It Ralph, says Alien World of Chronic. He tries to start fights with everyone in the tank and then backs away. Looks like he's yelling at all the other fish. That's dope. I like it. I like him. Way to go, Wreck-It Ralph. Real talk, I have no idea this fool had rage. Like, oh, man. Since 23. I bet Doveye could be bad. Yeah, I would think so too, says Fish Tropic. Brian, next tank is going to be 1 goldfish. My guppies a few years back looked like a cannibal holocaust in the tank. For my first time kind of, having a tank full of live bearers, they are pretty active, in which I think I had did a video of how I can go from African cichlids to guppies and platies. They really are active in their tanks, similar to my African cichlids. I didn't know that they were that hardcore though. Like at first I just thought that, guppies and platies were just fish food for my African cichlids. Like they're just little fish and my guys are big fish. But they really have some stuff going on in their own little world there. I kind of am glad that I have that tank set up in the classroom. The piranha followed by this one female betta. So you go from piranha to betta as your jerk fish. The Midas head was secretly an incarnation of Jack the Ripper. I didn't know enough when I bought him. He was nondescript, tiny brown fish. It wasn't until he started growing up and getting orange that I realized what I had. Those are the kickers, man. When you when you get this fish and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a cool fish, and then he grows up and starts killing everything. 3,000. If you're still on, man, you got to talk about that Leporanus that was killing everything too. They had a Leporanus that was taking things out. um, I bet a black piranha could be really bad though. Fish Tropic. Also, vampire tetras can be interesting. I saw those vampire tetras. I was looking them up on Google. They look pretty cool actually. I bet a black piranha. Oh, I already did that. You don't want to know the fish shop wouldn't even take them back either. Oh, old Jack was never caught, yo. Albino walking catfish. I lost count of the number of times it jumped out of the tank and headed for the closet in the bedroom. I traded it at the local mom and pop tropical fish store. Jay. Oh, Aquamate from down under. Hey, thank you for coming through. Aquamate, it's been a while, bro. Been a while, man. Thank you for coming through, man. We talking about your most jerkiest fish. What kind was it and what did it do? This albino walking catfish, man. I've gotta Google that one. Jeez. Y'all live bearing fish can be bad. Yeah, or yeah, live bearing fish can be bad. Oh man, I had many jerk fish in my day. Says 3,000. Dude, what did that Leporanus kill, man? Like tell everybody what that I hey, that Leporanus was taking cats out. Yeah, so glad to see Aquamate, man. I haven't been able to catch his stuff in a while. And I gotta send some stuff to his son. I got a lot of stuff to do, man. I really do. Aquamate, I haven't forgot about you, sir. Uh Albino walking cats are so cool, but Florida is good proof of lack of biosecurity when it comes to that fish. Biosecurity is an interesting course. I'm gonna look at that too, Chewy. Give me something on that biosecurity. I need to check that out. Thanks, Aquamate. 19 and 12 likes. Hit the button. I secretly want piranhas again, says Fish Tropic. I've never had them. I might have to check them out too. I probably won't put them in the classroom though, because some of my students just they will do whatever. They don't care about each other or themselves. It's weird. I've never seen anything like this. Like, hey, put your hand in. Oh, I'll do it. Paku can ruin your day. Hey, that's a fact. Oh my God, Paku. Hey, who had a Paku? 3,000. Did you have that Paku? You had a Paku, I think, too. Merkin everything. Did you see Ohio Fish Rescue? They had a 2-foot Peroon shark eating a 16. Is it 16-inch Leporanus? Crazy town. Dang, I gotta check that out too. Actually, just had piranhas, not a bad setup. That sounds interesting. I've seen a couple of piranha setups. It doesn't look like they try to make it look kind of like the waters that they come in with, kind of like little branches and some stuff like that. My male crib is a jerk. Brian, I had a group of 18 way back in the day. A group of 18 way back in the day. I like the walking catfish, but it had a thing with the bedroom closet. That's creepy, man. I remember I had some fire belly toads in my classroom at my old school, and they always kept going into the chemistry room. Like the chemistry teacher will walk in his room in the morning and be like, "Oh my God, Clark, your toads are in here again." And just bring those guys back. Oh, somebody remind me, because I need to ask you guys about these aquatic dwarf frogs. If anybody's had any of those, I guess I just asked you. I want to put them in my platy guppy tank. Good idea, yay or nay? I just think they look cool. Um, Casey Claiborne, favorite second grade teacher. How are you? Welcome to the stream. We're talking about have you had any fish? First fish, your the jerkiest fish, uh, and what did he do to become a jerk? That's Queen Casey is back in the place to be, y'all. Um, just red breasted. What did I miss? Okay, walking catfish. Biosecurity biggest issue is pathogens, and that's why they breed animals in their own environment for conservation issues. Okay. Even when I lived in Florida, everyone had a different excuse as to how and why there are so many invasive animals there. And for those of us who don't live in Florida, and everything that we hear about Everglades and the scene over there, all came from pet owners. Pets. They wanted a pet gator, got too big, they threw it into the Everglades, or they had these fish and they got too big and they threw it out in the water. And so now you got this whole mix of these different invasive species. And, you know, you've got some that are surviving really well. You got some that aren't. And then now you have this whole plethora of different species of whatever popping up here and there. So that's on the outside looking in, that the story that we get. Do you think kids were hauling the toads in there? No, I just think that I just didn't have a good cover over them and didn't think that they were hopping out. So I kind of think that they just kind of were hopping out. I want a fire belly newt, says Larry D. The walking catfish is well documented after a hurricane of that time period that flooded the outdoor pools. It is still going on for the exotic invasive species. The Stellar Collection is in the place to be. What's up? What's cracking? I remember you could buy 6 red-breasted piranha for $10. It's back in the day, Tropic. Oh yeah, fun to watch them eat. Watch what eat, Brian? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the piranha? It was documented as well as another well-known publication. So you're gonna get the kids to hatch some brine shrimp in class. Sea money time. No, I hated those sea monkeys. It's trash. You do that. That's elementary stuff. I want some real fish keeping kiddos. I forgot about that lepiranha. Straight sniper killed about 20 fish. Didn't know it was him until it was 3 fish left. That lepiranhas was murking cats in that tank. Man, every time I came over your crib, I was like, man, where your fish go? Florida would be a cool fishing spot. That's a fact. First fish was an Oscar, says Roxanne. I had him for 8 years. I trained him to jump out and catch his food. He was the coolest fish. He loved for us to rub his sides and his head. Oh, he killed everything. Rainbow fish, giant danios, grommies, everything. I've seen some decent hybrids come out of those canals. Show winners for sure. Monica Lynn is here. Hey, I jumped online. Aquatic frogs are cute. I kept them for a long time. Okay, Monica, thank you. And I started my live stream with saying condolences to you and your fam, and prayers for your mom going through her surgery, and to yourself. So I want to reiterate that again now that we have more people on. So prayers and prayers going up so blessings can come down for you, Monica. Aquatic frogs. I want to get some. I have some at the LFS that I'm selling my fish to. I was thinking maybe like, trading some, not trading some out, but getting some from there. I have seen them in some of these community tanks, and I know they just really kind of float there. They just be, and then sometimes you see them shoot down to the bottom and come back up, and they just be up there like that. But I still think that's pretty cool. Should I do it? Is the question. For those of you guys who had those aquatic frogs, what do you think? You need to go get some of the fish farms in Florida and see. You need to go to some of them and see what is in the streams beside them. It's not always the case. Gotcha. 3000's Paku was a beast. He took out 13-inch Oscar. Said 3000. Oh no, 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 no. Jay, you cannot get on here like that, G. Nah, man, there's not that kind of action. You're gonna be put on timeout after mess around and write a referral. Uh the frogs will eat all of your library babies. Um all your library babies. Okay. Yeah, Jerron, if you're still on here, man, you cannot come up here with all of that language, G. We're not doing that. This is not that kind of action, man. Come on now. You know better than that. You're better than that. It's one of my students, you guys. He just wanted to come in and Joan and do all of that. Is not that kind of action on this. um, yeah, no, I got it. Um, yeah, Larry D, I got it. Yeah. Hey man, look, we just like I said, like some of the students are opening up, they're jumping on, but you know, they gotta. It's a they trying to figure it out, man. That's one of my projects. By the time he gets to his junior year, he's gonna be a whole different cat. He's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right. Uh, it is also a problem in Asia. Having insecure biosecurity is linked to their pleco problems. Actually, you could set up a brine hatchery. It's cheap, and the students will learn sea monkeys are actually brine shrimp. That sounds cool. No, I don't think I said that. I don't think I called any kid dumb. Chicano. Yeah. No, just time and place, man. Like you just can't be going crazy like that. This little stuff. I was never able to get enough food to my frogs. Your fish would love brine, shrimp. Yeah, man. So, hey, look, everybody knows that, if you have if what's up, Caleb? What's going on? Everybody knows that well, even when you guys had teachers and you guys had teachers that were all right and stuff like that, and you could kind of, do stuff and rip on, but um, the most of the things that I have to teach my students it's a time and a place for everything, and then also you have to learn how to code switch. It's very important that our kids know how to code switch. So you have to be able to kind of kick it with your homies and talk all that stuff there. But then when you get into like a setting where you're trying to go out for a job or talking on the phone to some business or something like that, you gotta learn how to turn it on and off. So little stuff like that, man. And this is just the beginning. We got 14 years old, just out here, just want to be funny, want to jump on and stuff like that. So that's just how it goes. Um, Outdoor breeding pools are not ideal when the areas get hurricanes, floods, and typhoons. Not very secure biosecurity. The frogs will love guppy babies and platy babies too. That's Roxanne. So it's gonna be all. They're just gonna eat those guys up, huh? You will need next class. That'll teach them. Yeah, and that's enough of that going on too. You really gotta really smart kid, really smart kid. He gets a bad rap because he is so colorful and he does quite a bit, just mischievous, man. But you can't fail a kid because he's mischievous. You can't fail him because You know, you got to really look at these kids for what they know. And if they're learning the material and they're doing the work and they're passing the tests, then that's what you got to grade them on. All that other stuff, that's more, maturing and teaching from that headedness and bringing them to a different level than where they're at. You know what I'm saying? That's just how that goes. As a teacher, you got to distinguish between the two. Some people can and some people can't. And I think that's why we have a lot of kids that are failing that probably don't deserve to fail. Um, I'm the um, I'm the guy that makes sure that doesn't happen in most cases. I'm trying to make sure I see these kids for who they are and what they are and where they came from, and try to be a little bit more intuitive about it. But definitely a smart kid. Definitely a smart kid. So just does, do silly stuff. When he's at the high school that I was at, that I'm teaching at. I graduated from there. I probably wouldn't do anything like that. Plus, really don't remember having any live streams or YouTube or internet when I was young. But I would get done with my work and then I would just crack jokes. Everybody could get it. And back then, teachers really, look, you got to get out because I can't have you talking stuff. But at the same time, your work is correct, so I have to give you the grade that you got. That's just how that goes. I can't call my teachers from 20 years ago by their first name, and I'm grown. Yeah, me either though. Me either. Um, what up, 44 Mad Guy? Thanks for coming through, G. Appreciate it. It's called tact. He be all right. Right. I'm telling you, when I get back to school, he's probably gonna apologize and be like, "Man, I ain't even," But he's into a lot of stuff, man, and he's a good kid. He's pretty bright. Um, I think those I think those buildings that have flooded basements that have koi goldfish swimming around, anybody have those around them. Got to engage kids, says Roxana. It's a fact. Show them the way. That's a fact. Dr. Black, thanks for coming through. What's cracking, man? Thanks for coming through, Doc Black. Do you find there are more kids with higher EQs than IQs? That's a good question, Tropic. Yeah, yeah. Um, and all the school districts that I've been in, um, I can take every last one of those kids, one by one, talk to them, and they would talk to me about everything one on one. But if you put them into their setting with all their friends, and this, that, and the other, that same kid will act like they don't know anything. And they'll start trying to be funny and they'll start doing this, that, and the third. And it looks like they may have a low IQ, but it's not. It's just it's generationally, they just are like more, since everything's kind of like at a finger's touch, they got to have a reaction now. They have to see it now. Instagram is live, it's here, it's right now. They don't have to wait. And with them not having to wait, they really don't have to really think too much about what's going on. It's just a reaction. Everything is just a reaction. And so if we can get them away from just reacting and just saying what the first thing that comes to their mind, or doing what's the first action that they feel like they're doing, it tends to be a lot better. If once they get a chance to think it through, or even take a few seconds to think like, yo, this might not be cool. I might need to chill. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. All right, everyone have to be up at 3:30 a.m. Great stream, Fishy Biz. Gonna thank you, Larry D. Appreciate you for coming through. Everybody saying what's up to Blackie. Caleb, hey, I will be live tonight. Caleb is gonna go live tonight. What time, Caleb? It's already 8:40. I got about a few more minutes. Kids trying to find their way, says Roxana, definitely. Um, it takes a village, says the Stellar Collection. Yes, it still does. And I'm at the bottom. Man, made it to the bottom. Nothing much cooking, some tater tots at Warrior Planet. Warrior Planet, he put something on Instagram. If you guys don't have Warrior Planet on Instagram, you guys gotta check his stuff out. He's putting a lot of the food and meals that he makes. I didn't know that he like was a chef or is a chef. He makes some stuff, man. It looks delicious too. And it could be like Monday, Tuesday night. He's cooking like a 5-star dish for his fam. So as it's a beautiful thing. For those of you guys on here, also Caleb is going to go live tonight. He usually goes kind of after me. I don't know if he's doing 9 o'clock. But I'm gonna chirp out of here in the next in a few minutes, Caleb, if you're still on. For those of you guys that wanted to jump over there with Caleb, he does some pretty interesting stuff. Matter of fact, he has a topic that he's doing his Planet Tank video. I think he's on part 2, which I was doing with my Planet Tank. So like mine will be out also. So he's doing some stuff over there. Caleb says the next 5 minutes. So there you go. Warrior Planet is supposed to be making me hungry. That's a fact, Stellar. Yeah. And also follow the Stellar Collection on Facebook and Instagram too. She dabbles. She really doesn't dabble. She's kind of been doing this for a while. She's pretty much a pro at this whole jewelry thing. $5 jewelry collection and stuff like that. Definitely pretty cool. Blackie, you're straight up legend, says 23. Dr. Black 66, you guys all the way from Australia. Him and Aquamate. Love those guys down there, man. Doing some big things. The first stream to ever do a 24-hour live stream. It was great. So yeah, man. So there we go. For sure. So yeah. I'm thinking of, like I said, Aqua Frogs. Thank you for everybody chiming in with your jerky fish, most jerky fish. You already know that that's not the end of it. Of course, you're going to find as you look into your tanks, there's going to be some more fish that are jerks. It's funny because some of these fish, they just really determined to do what it is that they want to do. You can put them in timeout. You can put them in a breeder box. You can, change the aquascape. You can do all of the stuff you want to do, and they're still going to end up finding a way to be those jerks. We just did an underwater pet expo in Melbourne at the weekend. We had a YouTube booth. I want to check that out too. I just saw it said Underwater Pet Expo, and I was like, man, they did it. So I want to check that out. I'm definitely going to check that out. In a month, we have a tank full of fat frogs. In a month, I'll have a tank full of fat frogs and no more guppies or platies. Dang. Mbunas equal jerk for life, and that's a fact. I can definitely attest to that. I haven't found any jerkfish yet, says 44 Mad Guy. Everybody, if you would like for 44 Mad Guy to finally have some jerkfish, let's go ahead and send them. I'm gonna send them my Kenji, my Mbuna, that has been murking everything. 3,000. You can send them that Leporanus. We could send you some jerks. You're gonna be pissed. Oh man. 44 keeping Neon Tetris. Live stream on Aquamate's channel and Blake's Aquatics. Okay. I'm gonna go check that out too, Dr. Black. 44 Mag, what do you have? 44 has plastic fish. Send 44 your favorite in Bunas. Hey, it's only like 3 left. I'm sending them that Kenji and that golden cichlid. It's over. Like, it's gonna look. That Kenji's gonna take it out. You hear me? It's over. It's over. Oh, kanji. It's a kilji, is what it is. I've never seen a fish so angry. And what are you mad at? Why do you just keep tormenting these other fish's lives? F guppies, African butterfly cichlids, and apistogramma. Cockatody. Kilji. Right. Oh man, it's crazy. Caleb is the future of fish, hands down, says Mr. 3000. Yeah, that kid's got spunk, moxie. Yeah, it's a good kid. He's the Justin Bieber of fish. Got out of the cichlids a long time ago. Yeah. My Buna tank's almost empty because of this. I don't know what to do with him. And he's just there. It's him. It's a golden. They just took out the electric blue. I thought he was going to be in there with them for the longest. Gone. And a Synodontis catfish that I guess he can't really attack like he wants to. Those are the only ones. I don't mind Angel, says Fish Tropic. So yeah. Yep. With that being said, you guys, man, I really appreciate you all for coming through. Caleb is going on if he hasn't gone on yet. If you guys wanted to shift over to there. Me, myself, I have got some things to do before bedtime, like fold up these towels before the wife gets to tripping. And definitely got to go ahead and knock that stuff out. So until next Monday, you all, listen, just keep it fishy and stay busy. You feel me? Thanks for coming through. I really appreciate you all. All right. I'm out. Get at me.